everyone. I'm Rochelle Chernowski.
And I'm Dan Filgreen, and this is Shell Point Today for Monday, October 13th. On today's show, Terry Kolath and Professor Adrian Kerr discuss Christopher Columbus and his near failure at discovering America.
The Pavilion's Director of Long-Term Care, Sherry Brown, talks with Rehabilitative Services Manager CJ Gulotta about some additions to the therapy program at the Pavilion and how they'll benefit you.
And after 5 months of refreshing, the renewed Village Church is open once again. We'll take you on a behind-the-scenes tour of all the changes that have taken place.
But first, the Academy's 6th-session class, Russia Under the Tsars, gets underway today at 1:15. Russian expert Seth Mendel of Teledora will take you in-depth on the fascinating history of the centuries-old country. Today, he'll discuss Kiev, Moscow, and the House of Ivan. The class takes place in the Social Center on the island from 1:15 until 2:45. It is free, but sign-ups are required.
Tomorrow, a new T3 class gets underway exploring the Apple iPad. Got one? Now what? We'll get you started on the iPad tablet with 3 sessions teaching you the basics of your new piece of technology. Bruce Finley of Sundial and Penny Modrich of Nautilus will be instructing the class. It's $15 for all 3 sessions that will take place on the next 3 Tuesdays starting tomorrow. The class takes place in the Manatee Room on the island from 10:15 until 11:45. Sign-ups are required.
Health Connections Healthy Living Tour heads up to Ada's Natural Market tomorrow. Learn how to get the most out of your shopping experience and maintain the physical dimension of your life quest. The trip costs $8 with pickups beginning early at 7:30 tomorrow morning on the island. You'll return to Shell Point at around 11:30 and sign-ups are required.
And the Village Church will be hosting a celebration of the arts tomorrow night. Kaleidoscope will bring together the arts and artists of Shell Point and the Fort Myers community for the first concert of the new season. Special guests, violinist Reiko Naya, pianist Noah Waddell, and organist Stephen Britton will be on hand to celebrate with you. Don't miss the fantastic evening that begins tomorrow night at 7:15 in the Village Church on the island. Tickets are free, but they are required.
The story of Christopher Columbus, his legendary journey around the world, and ultimate discovery of America is well known. It was 20 years in the making and came terribly close to not happening.
That's the topic of the Academy class that takes place tomorrow, entitled How Columbus Almost Did Not Discover America. Professor Adrian Kerr will delve into the near failure and look at the man himself. He recently sat down with Terry Kolath to discuss the class.
Hi there, I'm here with Professor Adrian Kerr. This time, when he joins us in the Fall Academy, he's going to talk about how Columbus almost did not discover America. Thank you for joining me, Professor Kerr.
Thank you, Terry. It's always a pleasure to be at Shell Point.
So he almost did not discover America?
If Columbus had followed out his plan, he would have run out of water and would have died somewhere across the Atlantic. He miscalculated terribly the distance between Spain and China, which is what he was trying to get, or Japan. And just through good luck, instead of dying, he struck a piece of land called the New World. And he had not expected a territory there at all. He expected to carry on another 3,000 miles and reach China, which he had miscalculated, along with an Italian mapmaker, and the distance between Spain and China was much greater than they both had speculated. So it's by pure fortune that he ran into the Bahamas, and we know the story, and he came back.
How terrifying it must have been to be on that ship, on that ocean where no one had been before, and keep saying, where is it?
He came up with a concept that he could get to China and Spice Lands instead of going east, by going west. And of course, everybody laughed at him. The Spanish said no, the Portuguese weren't interested, they already had an eastern route. He actually got close to support by Henry in England. He thought this was a good way to get a foothold in the new era of colonialism, and he gave him support and would have given him a financial incentive to to do an English expedition, but just at that moment, Ferdinand and Isabel were nervous that he might go elsewhere, perhaps to Portugal, so they gave him a pension, which kept him out of trouble, but didn't give him any financial backing to go and look for the New World. So they made a proposal to Columbus, said, well, we'll support your venture looking for China going west by half if you get the other half from entrepreneurial backers. So he went back to Genoa and he contacted bankers in Italy, and they were prepared to fund the other half. And so 3 rather leaky old ships set off and made their way westwards, and would never have been heard of again had he actually tried to get to China without actually accidentally bumping into America.
Join us tomorrow. We'll be at 10 o'clock in the Grand Cypress Room with Professor Adrian Kerr, focusing on Christopher Columbus.
Thank you, Terry and Professor Kerr.
Many great resources are available to you in the Larson Pavilion. One of them is the therapy program under the direction of Rehabilitative Services Manager CJ Gulotta.
Sherry Brown recently spoke with CJ about 2 new certifications that the therapy program just earned and how they will benefit you.
Hello, I'm Sherry Brown, Director of Long-Term Care and the licensed administrator in the Larson Pavilion. I am so excited to be here today with Christine Gulotta, CJ, also known as CJ, the Director of our therapy programs. And we have some really exciting new programs, new certifications that we would like to share with you. So, CJ, talk to me a bit about what's happening in therapy and the most recent certifications.
Okay, well, I'm very excited to say that, first of all, for our speech therapist, she is now certified in a program called LSVT Loud. That is a program that's specific for Parkinson's and sometimes other neurological disorders.
And LSVT stands for?
Lee Silverman Voice Therapy. And it's a special protocol. It's 16 visits total, 4 times a week for 4 weeks. But the research shows that there's good outcomes for up to 2 years after on voice quality. So we're very excited to bring that to our program and to the residents of Shell Point.
Wonderful. Well, I'm looking forward to more opportunities, other residents in the pavilion and their quality of speech and their communications capability.
Absolutely.
Talk to me a little bit about another certification that has recently been acquired.
Well, I'm also Aqua Therapy certified. This is a new certification achieved this summer. It is a test that I had to pass in order to indicate that I am able to deliver aquatic therapy and understand aquatic therapy to the standards of the industry. So safety, treatment implementation, and program development.
And I know you've been having a lot of success in the pool.
Yes, we've been able to share a few stories of success with Shell Point, and we continue to see great results with pain relief, with strengthening, with people getting back into mobility, and it's really exciting to be able to see them continue on in the new pool.
It is exciting to see people progress, isn't it?
Yes, absolutely.
And we have some new opportunities that we look forward to in our programming.
Yes.
Is there any to be forthcoming that you'd like to allude to?
Yes, I will be attending a conference in Nashville, listening to a seminar that is put on by a physical therapist who has done some specialized programming just for long-term care. And I am hoping to get some really exciting program for the pavilion related to aquatic therapy after that conference. I'm already working on a couple of things, but I'm really excited to keep it moving along.
Well, any new programs that we develop are always for the benefit of our residents, and you can see in CJ the excitement that she brings not only to aqua therapy but to all of our rehab program. It's catching, and a wonderful team effort in finding ways for functional improvements for our residents.
Thank you.
So I'm really proud of that, CJ. So if you're a new resident or you've been here at Shell Point and you have some questions about programming in rehab or in other parts of the Larson Pavilion, we're actually going to be conducting a special informational event on October 23rd, which is a Thursday, beginning at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Getting the scoop on the Larson Pavilion. We'll be sharing some wonderful Love Boat ice cream, and it's an RSVP request for this event. So if you're interested, please call Randa Lee at 415-5432 to put your reservation in. We'll look forward to seeing you then, and thanks, CJ.
Thank you.
Thanks again for watching us.
Thank you, ladies. Well, it's been 5 months in the making, but finally the renovations at the Village Church are complete. Services got underway earlier this month, and everyone is thrilled with the changes.
If you haven't had a chance to make your way over there, we were able to get a behind-the-scenes tour of the refreshed and renewed facility with Church Administrator Glenda Stephenson. Let's take a look.
Hi, I'm here with Glenda Stephenson, Church Administrator here at the Village Church, and today Glenda is going to take us on a behind-the-scenes tour at all of the work that's been done.
But it's been a real nice upgrade to this space. One of the things that we did is expand the doorways, and we went from 4 narrower doors to 3 sets of doors, which allows easier access to the sanctuary. Okay. So walk with me as we go into the sanctuary, and we'll take a look
inside.
I think one of the first things that you realize as you walk through the space is we've got a new color palette, and it's a much warmer palette. We now have the gold tones on the walls and the blues throughout the carpet and chairs, and I think it has really refreshed our space. We are really happy with that.
Right, and the chairs I know are very comfortable to enjoy the service.
We tested a lot of chairs and we gathered a lot of opinions. Seating is one of those things that's very particular to the individual because we're all different sizes, different heights. So we tried to go with something that was middle of the road. We did pay to get an upgraded cushion, and we realized that our old chairs were pushing 20 years old at this point. They were pretty shot. So to have new chairs, new cushion, and all of that's really comfortable. We appreciate it. And Josh, as we come down the stairs, I want to point out our new handrails. We used to just have a simple board along here, and it was much harder to grab. So one of the improvements that we made was to replace these handrails with something that's more ADA compliant, easier to grab and hold on to, and hopefully that will be safer for all. As we come into the main sanctuary space, one of the things that I could point out is the beautiful wood trim that goes along the soffit all the way around the sanctuary. That's just added a really nice upgraded element to our space, and I love that. Blending the cherry wood with the oak wood throughout in a variety of ways.
Right, and I know the lighting in here is really dramatic. It's really well lit. New lights put in as well? We
did. We totally upgraded the electric, and that included new lighting throughout this space. Probably doubles the amount of lighting, but it's also given us much better control. We're able to dim now. We're able to do things in zones that we weren't able to do before. So that's a major upgrade for us.
So will that make it better for, I would imagine, concerts and other shows that we have in here?
It will. We've got much more flexibility, and that will be nice. We also added the sconce lighting on the sidewalls. That was not here before, which is just a nice decorative element.
Right, and something that I really appreciate, the audio and video booth up there was expanded.
It was. We had a crew that worked in a very tight space up there, and so we expanded that space by 8 feet and gives them much more movability in that small space to do all of the camera work, all of the sound, all the lighting work that gets done up there.
And I know a lot of upgrades here. We were talking about the wood and upgrades to the wood. Can you tell us a little bit more about what was done here?
Yeah, this is amazing, really, Josh. We had several of our guys in the wood shop that invested over 200 hours in refurbishing all of our altar furniture.
So all residents? This was all
yes, this was all done by residents. They added the cherry panels into our altar rails, our pulpit, our communion table, modesty rails up there. redid the oak so that it was cleaned up and looked new again. And we are so appreciative of the time that they donated to this project.
Great, great.
We've added a new floor to the stage, and perhaps one of the most noticeable differences is the back wall of the stage. Wood sound diffusers have been added to that back wall, and we experienced Sunday the difference that makes in our sound. This space was much more alive than what we've had in the past. Beautiful new cross on that backstage. We love that. We anticipate that will be a focal point for us for a variety of things throughout the course of the year.
Wow, this looks great in here, Glenda.
Josh, this is our library, and I can tell you our librarians are very excited about the makeover that they got in here. We stripped the space, we painted walls, we built all new bookshelves, so they're new and they're consistent, which is nice. Put carpet on the floor, and it's given them a bright, very new, refreshed space for the library.
Yeah, it looks great.
Josh, we're standing in what we use as the chapel now, and we knew for a long time that our sound and our audio in this space was deficient. So part of the upgrades that we've done is to upgrade the audio in this space as well as in the hospitality room. And I think as we have memorial services in here and CLS classes, we will really appreciate those upgrades because we'll be able to hear so much better.
Right.
As we leave the chapel and come across here, you weren't here before, but we used to have coat racks here that were kind of misshapen and falling apart. We've built in new closet space here, and it looks so much nicer.
Great. I know the talk around Shell Point leading up to the church reopening was this kitchen.
This kitchen was really sad. And so it was one of my priorities when we tackled this project was to do some upgrades here, and I'm thrilled with the way it's turned out. We put some commercial refrigerators and a commercial freezer in. We do a lot of service, and we're now able to accommodate platters in the fridge and things that we couldn't do before. We now have a commercial coffee pod so that we can make plenty of coffee for events, and it's easily done. And that's nice. We've got an ice maker under the counter here. We never had ice available in this space. And when you're serving people as much as we do, that's very appreciated. We have a nice backsplash treatment here, which really dresses up the space. We put in bigger, deeper sinks so that they're more usable and flexible for all the events that we do, and we're so very happy with it. We also have added counter space over here. We've mounted a microwave, and so this space now has a usability that it did not have before, and our ladies are delighted. One of the things that I'm really happy with too is the fact that we've got a couple movable carts here, and they're on wheels. We can move them around, gives us additional counter space to work wherever we need to do it. If we needed to move them out into the main space for whatever reason, we could do that as well. So we've got two of those, and it gives us more flexibility as well.
That's good, very good.
Josh, besides the main level, we also redid this upper level, which meant all of the balcony space has gotten new carpet and new chairs, and we've taken the new paint, the new carpet into our offices, and it's totally refreshed our workspaces.
Well, Glenda, thank you very much for the tour of the refreshed and renewed sanctuary. Everything looks terrific, and I know Shell Point residents are going to be pleased over the next many years with what they have here.
Speaking of Shell Point residents, we're so grateful for the way they've supported this project, both with their flexibility while we've had to be out of the space, their giving, their prayer support. It's been wonderful to watch. Thank you for coming and joining us today, and come back anytime.
Okay, great. Thank you.
What an amazing transformation, and what a wonderful place to worship. Please make sure you make the trip over there and see it for yourself.
And now it's time to cover all of Monday's happenings, Academy news, menus, and Village Church connections. Right after this word from David Howenstein with a preview of his radio show on TV, Listening to the Words.
This week's Listening to the Words begins by remembering a woman who once ranked as one of the most widely admired people of the 20th century. When a young Minnesota girl, now of Fort Myers, saw this woman, she seemed quite unattractive, but then metamorphosed like a butterfly. becoming quite beautiful. This week is the birthday of one of the most esteemed women in the world, Eleanor Roosevelt. The rest of the never famous people in this week's program would qualify as those noted in the quotation, "Not all of us can do great things, but we can do small things with great love." From a Shell Point woman whose young son's life was saved by his fast-acting sister, to a Fort Myers retiree whose 3-year-old granddaughter almost gave up her 4th birthday. From a New Jersey woman who digs deep into the admonition to walk in another's shoes, to some folks of a small Italian town who quietly mixed meaning into their sharing of cups of coffee. I'm David Howenstein, promising you a program with lots of love and smiles at the top and bottom of almost every hour of every day this week, as you tune to your Shell Point TV Channel 12 for Listening to the Words.
Hi everybody, welcome to the Happening segment of Shell Point TV. I'm Bev Chandley and I'm here with Jill Alderink, and we're going to tell you what's going on as far as activities here at Shell Point today. Our activities begin today at 8 o'clock with the men's match play doubles tennis at the Woodlands Tennis Courts. Virtual bowling will be at the Resident Activity Center at 8:45. 9:15 is the time billiards will be played at the Resident Activity Center. Also at 9:15 we have pottery in the pottery studio in the tunnel. At 10 o'clock we have men's match play doubles tennis. Our Suzy Q boat is going to be going out to Woody's Waterfront Restaurant for lunch at 10 o'clock. Make sure you sign up. 10:30 is the Disciple Men's Study Group. They'll be in the game room of the Woodlands. We're going to move to 10:45 for Table Tennis Clinic. That's going to be held in the Tarpon Room in the tunnel. And at 11:30 we have a Health Connections class, specifics in cardio conditioning. That'll be in the Health Club and that's currently full. That concludes the morning activities, and here's Jill with your afternoon lineup.
Well, we start the afternoon at 12 o'clock with Mahjong in the Sable Room at the Woodlands. And then we have Fashion Through the Decades, a community thrift store fashion show. That'll be in the Grand Cypress Room at 1 o'clock. At 1:15, you have choices. There's advanced table tennis in the Tarpon Room, or you can play Samba, the card game, in the Resident Activity Center. The tone chimes will be practicing in the Osprey Room at 1:15 as well. At 1:30, the Model Train Room has reopened. They'll be open from 1:30 until 3:30 in the train room. That's in the tunnel on the island. At 1:45, Health Connections Balance and Mobility Training Level 1. That's in the Health Club and it is currently full. The Beady-Eyed Bead Club meets in the Oak Room in the Woodlands at 2 o'clock. And at 3, we have Health Connections Pilates Stretch, and they meet in the Health Club. At 3:15, the Shell Point Singers will be rehearsing, and they meet in the choir room at the church. Health Connections Aqua Agility and Conditioning will be meeting in the Life Quest Aquatic Center at 3:30. And at 4 o'clock, the Suzy Q heads out for sightseeing and dinner at the Lighthouse Restaurant in Fort Myers. At 6, we have Health Connections Beginners Square Dancing. They'll be meeting in the Health Club on the island. That is currently full. At 6:30, Duplicate Bridge can be played in the game room at the Woodlands. And we conclude our Monday at 7:30 with the Health Connections Square Dancing Instruction in the Health Club. That concludes our activities for Monday. You just make it a great day.
Hello, I'm Terry Coleth with your Academy information for Monday. At 9:15, we have a class in the Computer Teaching Center that continues creating and personalizing Gmail accounts. At 10:15, a new class, HDTV Content, will take place in the Manatee Room on the island, and sign-up is required. At 10:30, Appreciating Words continues in the Oak Room of the Woodlands, and all are welcome. At 1:15, Russia Under the Czars will take place in the Social Center on the island for those who have signed up. We have new classes to tell you about for tomorrow. How Columbus Almost Did Not Discover America with Professor Adrian Kerr. An iPad, got one, now what? With Penny Modridge of Nautilus and Bruce Findlay of Sundial.
Menus for Monday. In the Crystal Room, the Crystal Platter is beef lasagna with spinach and garlic bread. The dinner special is Old Home Cooking Night for $11.95, and the soup of the day is beef noodle. In the Island Cafe for lunch, the special is a mushroom Swiss burger with onion rings for $7.25. The dinner special is tuna cakes with yellow rice and fresh fruit for $8.25, and the Palm Grill is closed on Mondays. Menus are available 24 hours a day at www.shellpoint.net.
Hi, Randy Woods. No doubt by now you are aware and ready to join in the celebration. That's tomorrow, October 14th, Kaleidoscope, a celebration of the arts. This will be the first concert of our season as we begin here at Shell Point, entering into a great time of friendship and also entertainment and inspiration. Tomorrow night's concert, Kaleidoscope, is a collaboration between the church and Shell Point staff as we work together to celebrate the beginning of the season. We're especially excited about the Friends of Shell Point, those musicians from our area who are coming to perform, to entertain us and inspire us with their music. We have heard the artistry of Reiko, the principal violinist with the Southwest Florida Symphony. Well, Reiko is going to be back to grace our stage and play her violin. And then there's the young man, Noah Waddell. Noah first performed here at Shell Point about 10 years ago when first time he won the Young Artist competition with Steinway. Well, through the years, Noah has continued to excel as a fine pianist, and now this teenage prodigy is going to be with us to again perform on the Steinway here at Shell Point. Another unique feature of the program Kaleidoscope will be several residents who are going to share some interesting art, a couple staff members. You won't want to miss this. And then, very unusual will be the opportunity for us to see and hear a silent movie. The classic film by Laurel and Hardy called Two Tars will be presented. And the uniqueness is we have our live theater organist, Stephen Britton, is going to be playing at the console, and he will express the humor, the dialogue of the story Two Tars. It's a fun-filled evening, and the uniqueness of this Kaleidoscope is that it's a collaboration as we celebrate through the arts, the friendships that we enjoy here at Shell Point. It's the first concert of the season, and I trust that you've gotten your tickets. Tickets are free and available at the Resident Activity Center or the service desk in the Woodlands. Be sure to get your tickets today. It's going to be a full house. It's going to be a great show as we start the season tomorrow night, 7:15 at the Village Church. That's Kaleidoscope, a celebration of the arts. I look forward to seeing you there.
We're glad you joined us for today's show. Tune in tomorrow when Dr. George Markovich joins us to talk about one of the most commonly performed medical procedures in the United States, joint replacement surgery.
Fitness coordinator Craig Norling will get us into the water for a great program that'll keep you in shape, Aqua, Agility, and Conditioning.
And Mary Franklin sits down with Dottie Morrison of Solana to talk about the Healing Journey Grief Support Group and how the group can help you cope with this emotional issue. Until then, this is Shell Point Today for Monday, October 13th. I'm Rochelle Chernowski.
And I'm Dan Filgreen. From all of us here at Shell Point TV, we hope you have a great day, and we'll see you back here tomorrow.